Time for another car talk. Driving south on 101. Well, right now we're not on 101, we're on a side street, but we're going to be on 101 in a minute. Okay, let's start over. Car talk. Today is February 1st, 2026, and we're going to be driving south on 101. We'll be there in a minute, but right now we're on a side street here in Encinitas. Nice Leucadia side street of Vulcan Avenue, North Vulcan. I'm gonna put my shades on, hope you don't mind. Man, but I'm driving with the windows down and 73-degree weather. Yesterday I was surfing and the water was not that cold. It sure didn't feel like winter. So, you know, I just have to say God bless those people back on the East Coast that are freezing their butts off. I see these posts on Facebook from folks that are in South Carolina, Pittsburgh, New York, and I just can't imagine what that kind of suffering would be like. I mean, if you have a really nice house and you're indoors all day, then great, you know. But you're not going to have an outdoor existence. You're not going to be able to take a walk down to the beach and stride barefoot through the shallows on the sand. Some people don't care though. People used to always say, "Well, I really like the seasons." They would tell me, you know, living on the East Coast is good because I enjoy the seasons. Really? Well, what if your favorite season was all year long? It was like summer all year. I'm gonna edit this out there's gonna be a lot of pauses here in the speaking, in the monologue as I drive, because I'm taking my boards down to the garage, gonna store them away. I'm going to be driving up to LA. I want to check out the riots or the demonstrations. I guess they're having demonstrations. Hopefully my car's engine isn't too loud for you. I got some work done on the minivan, the reviewer minivan, and they put a new catalytic converter in it. $999 just for the part alone. With the labor, which they told me I need an oxygen sensor and some other stuff. The shop owner told me that I should also get a new serpentine belt because the old one was frayed, and he showed it to me under the hood with his little flashlight. All told, parts, labor, and everything, $2,225, a little over $2,200 just to get it to pass smog. I needed this work done because it failed the smog test. That was including the smog test fee. You don't get charged for the retest when you fail the first time, and you have the work done obviously in that shop, the same shop that tests you test at, which seems like kind of a scam. I mean, I don't know. Either they could do that or just say, all right, well, fine, get the work done elsewhere, but we're going to test you and charge you the fee for the second test. But it seems like, you know, if you're an unethical shop owner that does all-star testing or for California smog emissions, they could just fail you the first time and go, well, you need all this work done if you want to pass, and we won't charge you for the second test. They could do that, and I suspect some people do. You know, you can't prove it because you need a confession, or you need to have a lot of testing done by some so-called unbiased shop owner. And, you know, what can you do about it? It's just one of those things you have to kind of deal with. Either that or move to some state like Washington where they don't have emissions testing. You could have a vehicle there and they don't have required emissions testing. I think they stopped doing that in 2021, you know, during the pandemic when a lot of rules changed. many stratas of society, almost all stratas of society. That was a very upheavalic time, a time of much upheaval. Anyways, that's one. There's other states too. South Carolina, no emissions testing. I was thinking, yeah, there's a lot of counties in Kentucky too, where they don't have emissions testing. There's a lot of states that don't have smog emissions testing for vehicles. Maybe I should move. I'm not being off the cuff there. It's something I've been thinking about for a while. I have 3 vehicles. I drive all the time. Driving is a California lifestyle that I embraced very young. I started driving at the age of 15 and a half, where my dad got me the learner's permit, and you could drive with somebody over the age of 16 who had a license. They could be under 18, but the rule was back then, I believe, that if somebody was in the vehicle that had a license and they were a licensed driver, even if they were only 16 years old, as a permit owner, a permit holder, a driving permit holder, you could drive and be 15 and a half, which again seems crazy. Kids are nuts. Kids are crazy drivers. There's a lot of accidents happen because of youthful inexperience, hubris, and just crazy young drivers. So what was I saying? Yeah, I've been driving for a long time, and I love driving. I drive in my work. It's part of my job. I drive all the time. Without driving, I really wouldn't be able to earn at the level that I am now, and the capacity and the job that I have now. And all my vehicles are over 30 years old. I have a 1993 GMC Safari van, a 1993 GMC, Go American Cars, Yukon, 4-wheel drive Yukon. And then I've got a 1995 Dodge van, which I like. It's got a little bit of roof rust, and patches need to be done occasionally on it from time to time, because when it rains, it'll come through the patches of JB Weld. And I'm here at the railroad tracks in Leucadia, Encinitas. Well, actually, I'm in Encinitas now, but Encinitas proper. And it's always kind of weird crossing those tracks. I have a video up on YouTube where I saw the aftermath of a guy that was struck by the Amtrak train. And just a normal day in Encinitas. We got this new X Factor crosswalk here. People can walk through the middle of the street. Seems kind of weird what they do. She's running. Artifact books right there. I got a really cool copy of a book that I wanted to find one time in like 1988. That the book was written by Steve Martin, and it was called Cruel Shoes. It was a paperback that I had first read chapters of in high school, and I was having a hard time finding it. At the time, I was getting back into reading again. I was like 23 years old, and I just wanted to find a copy of that book. So I walked in there and I asked the guy if he had a copy, and he told me he didn't. He asked my phone number and my name and phone number, and I gave it to him. A few days later, he called me and he had found the book, and I thought it was so amazing. This was, of course, in 1988, long before the internet, and I just thought it was incredible that the guy actually found this book. It was like a needle in the haystack to me at the time, and I was like, whoa. And I think it only cost me to buy there, it was like 25 cents. Those days are over. Those days are gone. But nowadays, a book like that would probably be like $5 at least, even when tattered and torn and well read. So we're coming up to Squamish here in a minute, and I'm going to see if we have any waves. The conditions look really good. I don't see any movement on the trees up there. The trees are not blowing. The wind seems calm. None of the little tips of the palm frond leaves are moving right now, so it's always a good sign. Probably very glassy out there in the water. The waves are good. So when I get home tonight and I'm in front of my laptop, I'm gonna do some editing on this and cut out the dry spots, the dead spots, and that'll be the first time I've ever really done one of these long form kind of stream of consciousness Cartalk videos where I edit out portions, portions that are, you know, superfluous, and where there's dead spots I'm not talking, or I say too many stuff like that. Okay, pulling into the Swami's parking lot now. No parking. Nothing open. Of course not. It's a Sunday and the weather is all time. The sun is out. There's absolutely no reason not to be at the beach. I'm just going to park here on the red for a second. Encinitas is such a nice, calm, peaceful, and law-abiding city that I don't want to park in the red too long and have people look at me like I'm some sort of weirdo breaking the rules. I don't know if you can hear that. Serenader. I don't know if you'd call it a serenader or a troubadour. Some guy strumming his guitar, playing music. It's kind of cool. That, ladies and gentlemen, was Swami's. The Swami's parking lot. Sometimes you look out and you pull in there and you've got a front row parking spot. Someone's pulling out and you're there right at the right time and you swoop right in. But not today. Today is not one of those days. That's fine. I don't want to spend too much time there right now anyway. It's going to drive down the beach here a little bit. See something else. It's the Coast Highway. Encinitas, Cardiff. Cardiff by the Sea, another place I lived for a while. Decades ago. It's the Cardiff Kook, the sculpture hidden by the palm tree, but I'll show you in a minute. The Cardiff Kook is a famous sculpture that was put here years ago. I don't think the sculpture intended for it to be called that when he created it. It was commissioned by either the city of Encinitas or the state of California. But Cardiff Kook is, in fact, a kooky looking guy. And they often dress him up in kooky clothes. Cardiff Kook is a kooky looking creation, sculpture, because of the way he's got his arms outstretched and his fingers kind of fanned out. Kind of like, woo! But he's hitting a pretty fast turn, and apparently at the force with which he's making this turn on a board that appears too small for that kind of maneuver. Maybe, I don't know. I don't like boards that small, but it looks like he's really getting into a radical turn, and he's just kind of in a kooky pose. Probably meant to be high action. This is Cardiff State Beach, Cardiff Reef. Can't really see it from this angle, but I'm not going to drive into the parking lot, so I want to get to where I'm going. Have to set this down. It's getting kind of crowded right now. I don't know if you can hear that, but there's some sort of band going on. Wild land. Look at that uplifted camper attachment. That's a pretty cool thing. You got position on that guy. I like that. Wow. I wonder how much that cost. we'll go into the seaside parking lot here in a minute. I'll show you that. I should be able to find a parking spot there, hopefully. I don't know, maybe not. Today is Sunday and it's a very nice day for the beach. Everybody in San Diego County wants to be here right now, I assume. Or at least in North County. If they're down there south of Del Mar, they're probably thinking maybe La Jolla Shores or Pacific Beach. Oh God, Pacific Beach is, I'm sure, a total zoo today. Yeah, look at that. That is a crowded parking. Wow, okay. I'm not going to be able to get a parking spot. I'm not going to look for too hard for a parking spot here. That's too many people. Everybody go to the beach. Oh, we do have some waves. Low tide seaside reef. That's the great thing about this time of year, though. The full moon brings minus tides. And there's wave action right now, as you can see by the rocks and sand pushed way up on the parking lot. That's what these cones are on for a while. These rocks and sand and driftwood have been pushed up as far as they have. It's a good 45 feet. Thank you. Okay. I did find a parking spot. It's not that bad of a one either. That's the way this happens. It's like sometimes you just luck out and you happen to be in the right spot at the right time. So I'm gonna walk over here and do some video of what's going on. How's it going? Bunch of people out there right now. See if the sun will come while I'm standing here. That wave used to be a lot better back in 1980 when I was a kid. I think the reef has changed. The bottom has gotten, I don't know, lumpier. Waves are lumpier. The wave is lumpier. Something happened to the bottom. I don't think it's gotten shallower. I don't know, maybe it has. It would have to have some sort of uplift to do that because apparently the ocean levels are rising by a few inches every few years or so, every few decades. And if that's true, then it wouldn't be getting shallower, it'd be getting deeper. I think that's what's been happening. Because the wave used to be a lot more crisper and hollower. That would be a function of it being shallower, more of an abrupt break. So that's my theory, at least. Okay. That's the reef at Seaside. This is Seaside. I think it's a state park where we're at right now. And the crowd's beginning to thin out, as I will now. I look so pale compared to everybody. I need to surf more. I was in Pittsburgh a few weeks ago, well, a few months ago now, for the Philosophy Week by Lisa Carver. Okay, I'm back. I had to close the doors, close the windows, and lock the doors and everything for this long drive through San Diego. I'm back now after I closed the windows. I was beginning to say, I was in Pittsburgh during, it was August, late September? No, it was late September. And Lisa in Pittsburgh was telling me during Philosophy Week that I should surf more. I should surf because surfing makes you glow. And it kind of does. I mean, it affects your look in certain ways. You know, it gives you a tan and it makes your hair kind of get bleached out. And it's got reflective qualities, I guess. But the way it really does make you glow is it makes you happy. You become a happier person by surfing. And doing something you love like that does in fact make you glow. And God bless Lisa, she's a great writer. And she thinks on multi-levels. You know how there's like 3-dimensional chess, 4-dimensional chess, I guess. And that's what Lisa does. And she'll think in analogous ways, metaphorical thinking. And when she's telling you something, sometimes it has different meanings to it. And I think that she might have been doing it at that time as well. Someone's behind me.